Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Just give an introduction about yourself.
Ma'am, myself Yogesh Kumar. I am from village Kayargi, which is now Lower Karsog in Tehsil Karsog district Mandi. I have done my initial education in class 10 plus 2 from Karsog itself, and after that I moved to Kangra, where in Central University of Himachal Pradesh I pursued my BSc as well as MSc in physics. And after that I moved back to my place, Karsog, and I prepared for HAS examination, and along with that I was working for a private edtech company called Vedantu part-time. And in the process I have given 2 interviews for HAS, and after that I think I should join the Bachelor of Education course at HPU, and I am pursuing currently a B.Ed course at HPU, and this is my 3rd interview for HAS.
Okay. Being a science student, you are in physics,
yes,
you've done your BC and MSc also. Why do you think that this is the much lucrative career for you? Why not the science?
Science is a very lucrative career also, but I have this...
What attracts you towards this administration?
I think, ma'am, over the time as I was in university as well, and I have been in various kind of roles where I feel that I have this motivation toward the civil services and public dealing, so I feel that I should give it a try, and I was successful in the first attempt. That gave me further boost that I should try it.
So what are the qualities in the administration that are required to be a very good administrator?
I think, ma'am, first, the very most quality that you need require is the quality for the public services, and you must have honesty and this feeling that you want to serve the people.
What else?
Integrity. You should have this character for public uprightness. You like the Gandhi, you must always think about the last man standing in the queue, that social benefits reach the person and every person.
That is the values, that's a thought that you talk about.
Yes,
but some administrative qualities, being administrator, what qualities they are required to be a good administrator?
I think you must be, you must feel yourself you are accountable to the citizen, and you are being transparent in your conduct. You have no bias toward any affluent or the poor people. So I can thought about these currently now.
Okay. Being from the science background,
yes, ma'am.
Nowadays we talk a lot about that technology is also going to be used in the administration, especially in the governments.
Yes,
how this science background is going to help you in the administration? In which areas that's being used now?
Recently there has been much focus about the digitalization and public digital infrastructure, which is also proposed by Prime Minister of India. And the foremost example is the DBT and the digitalization that we are doing. Online payment is a very big success of India, which even the world is copying also. And along with that, recently the wave of AI. Recently the CM of Himachal Pradesh has mentioned in the budget itself that in the field of agriculture also we are going to promote AI chatbots, which can help the farmer. The AI can deliver responses toward a certain kind of farm diseases or other things. So it could really fasten the identification of any kind of problem. So technology is going to play a big role.
And what about the blockchain technology?
Yes, ma'am, blockchain technology.
Well, it can be used in administration?
There has been a lot of talk about blockchain technology, ma'am, like it can create a central bank digital currency. The India is thinking about that. We should create a RBI-backed digital blockchain-based money. And also there has been also to create unique certificates and such kind of ID which can't be copied. So blockchain play an important role in that also.
It cannot be copied. So it's going to bring what in the administration?
It brings a kind of authenticity, ma'am, because blockchain has these unique IDs which can't be copied or which can't be infringed with. So that's the thing.
You have been from the agriculture friendly background we're talking about. No?
Yes.
Nowadays we talk a lot about the organic farming also.
Yes, ma'am.
What the government has initiated that they have taken recently in the recent budget,
yes, ma'am,
just to promote the organic farming.
Yes, ma'am. So government of Himachal Pradesh has introduced this thing as a startup in itself, that if you are growing these maize and wheat according to the natural farming, then we are going to buy them. There is a ceiling of 20 quintals. So this is a very positive motivator. And also government of Himachal Pradesh in the budget had proposed that from the every panchayat, we will train the 10 farmers. So there will be total 36,000 farmers because there are 3,600 panchayats in Himachal Pradesh.
Okay, and what else?
And
Organic farming, some initiative in that?
Organic farming.
How many farmers there are going to be, in the panchayat wise?
10 farmers per panchayat, they are going to train.
They are going to train in that. Yes, okay, you are pursuing your B.Ed also.
Yes, ma'am.
And your whole graduation as well as the PG, that's from the Central University, Dharamshala.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any issue related to the Central University, Dharamshala? It is full-fledged universities?
University is full-fledged, but the issue is about the campus. It is not fully established yet, and there is a lot of...
Why it could not be established?
Initially, there was a dispute, ma'am, regarding where the university should be set up, and later, now it is although settled that around 75% of the university will be set up in there, and the rest will be set up in the Dharamshala. But in Dharamshala, there was this issue of clearance that was not being given by the Himachal Pradesh or with the center about the environmental clearance and the forest clearance, and there was also the issue of geological sinking site. So now these have been taken care of, and now the university is...
Being student of that university, yes, as a student, what do you feel? Why this has happened? Who you want to blame?
Ma'am, there are many sides to the story, but I think...
Just give the frank opinion. What do you think?
There are a lot of, political consideration about making a university. So every politician wants that their constituency get the benefit of that.
That is the main reason. Just because of the politics, it could not be,
Yes.
Very true. And you belong to the, Karsog Mandi,
Yes.
Tell something about the Mandi.
Ma'am, Mandi district, historically, these were two independent riyasats, Suket and Mandi riyasat, and the Mandi riyasat emerged from the descendants of Suket riyasat. And the famous site in the Mandi, we have Mandi itself, the Parashars, Rivalsar, and Jinjari.
The economy of the Mandi, what's the main source of economy there?
Most of the Mandi district, ma'am, it's agrarian society, and in the Mandi itself there are booming these automobile industries. But in the upper reaches, like in the Karsog and Jinjari Valley, the apple farming is on the forefront. But in the lower valleys, like in the Bal and other valleys, it is the cash crops, like these peas and tomatoes, etc.
Whenever we think that, we are going to aspire to be a good administrator, you are going to be appointed somewhere else as a DC. Suppose, there's some plans already in your mind. Suppose, if I got the opportunity to serve the district as a DC, what innovative schemes, programs that you're going to start? That's your area of interest.
I think, ma'am, being from the education background as well, I think how to promote technology more and how to make the education more, up to the date that could make the youth today prepared for the skills that are required today, like in the field of electrical vehicles, like in the field of artificial intelligence. That is also being talked in the budget of Himachal Pradesh, but I think there is more immediate need, because if we are starting infrastructure now, then we will take a lot of time to set up those things, and we will miss the window. So I think more immediately we focus on such kind of thing, more we gonna benefit from such kind of initiatives.
Challenges of youth. What do you think what are the challenges of the youth in the present age?
Well, there is a lot of distraction. Consider from the social media. There is a lot of this peer pressure the youth is feeling, and this isolation also is one of the main part, because the society today is highly competitive. So youth feels like a lot of competition, and also in the it's called cyber bullying, and the problem of drug addictions also.
So, have you heard something about the Ministry of Happiness?
No, I'm not aware of that.
You're not aware? In some, states in India also, this Ministry of Happiness is there. It's going to, frame the policies, the program, just to spread the happiness, to make the people life comfortable. You don't know?
I don't know.
Okay.
Hanji, so as you have mentioned in your this biodata that you belong to EWS category.
Yes, sir.
So what are the pros and what is the constitutional 1/3 amendment about
EWS.
Yeah.
Sir, the EWS category was introduced to give 10% reservation toward the economically weaker section of the India, and Government of India has laid down certain framework, certain criteria, basis on which the people would be identified as the EWS. In the Supreme Court judgment also, it upheld that if government or the parliament want to give certain legislation for the backward section of society based on the class, that is not any kind of problem. That is a affirmative action of the state for the welfare of the poor or the deserved class in the upper castes or the general categories.
What are the income limits and all?
Well, sir, income limits in the central EWS is 8 lakh rupees, and in the Himachal Pradesh that is 4 lakh. And there are also residential limits. In Himachal Pradesh, the residence that you are having, it should be less than 2,500 square feet. And also, there is a limit on the land holding that you can have. It should be less than 1 hectare.
Achha, how does it compare with other economically backward sections like BPL and?
Well, sir, BPL has different criteria. It is issued by the block development officer on the basis of the panchayat. The panchayat identifies the BPLs on the basis of the income, but it has the economic limits and the residential limits given in the EWS are very different from the BPLs.
Mm-hmm. How far has the provision made any difference in the actual working and?
Well, sir, till now there hasn't been any report along the working of the EWS, but I think it's a very good and affirmative action for promoting and looking that inequalities can be based on the class as well.
Mm-hmm.
As I remember a survey by State of Working in India by Azim Premji University, and they were talking about if in the general caste also, that if your father is a casual laborer or a daily wage laborer, then there are 55% chances that the offsprings or the sons also will end up in such kind of jobs. So class is also a dimension, very important dimension when you talk about the social justice.
Abhi recently the Kangra Dharamshala has been declared as a second capital, or is there any justification for second capital in Himachal being such a small state and huge paraphernalia being carried over from one place to another, say even for winter session? Is there any?
Well, sir, there are in the popular democracy regional aspiration as well, and political consideration must be taken care of taking such kind of decision. And Dharamshala being an important city, and it was added. Dharamshala, the Kangra district, and the other districts were added in the old Himachal versus new Himachal, added after 1966. So there was always this feeling that we are not being treated at par with Shimla, and the power lies and power is concentrated in Shimla. So to alleviate such kind of misunderstanding, the government is also taking the parliament session in Dharamshala itself. But as we have seen from the affair of the Srinagar and Jammu, sir, there was also this Darbar Act from the Raja Gulab Singh, and he used to shift that capital from Jammu to Srinagar. And it was a very costly affair. It was costing around 300 to 400 crore. And it was there up until last 3 or 4 years, and it was now revoked. So it is a costly affair, but sometimes we have to look at the regional aspiration as well. So there are people think that we should also be the part of the power.
But the state being fund-starved,
yes,
it should be justified.
Moving entire secretariat or entire administrative setup will be a very costly affair, sir, but the parliament session is a much smaller ask than what we are doing now. Maybe it may lead the people to believe that the center of the power is the government is looking towards them also.
Just to fulfill the democratic aspirations.
Aspiration of the people.
Okay. Since you've been in Kangra for long, what are the cultural differences you find in Kangra and Mandi?
Well, sir, Kangra is linguistically is a very different state, so they have very different languages, and also being the marriage custom, there is a lot. The place where I was residing, Shahpur, there is a lot of influence of the Chamba people also. They used to celebrate the Nuwala festival as well. So there is this culture confluence at that point. I find out I was also able to see the culture of Chamba there.
What is the new education policy that has been launched, and how does it differ from its predecessor policy?
Well, some new education policy which was launched in 2020 by the government of India, it is more based on this 5+3+3+4 kind of curriculum, and before that we used to have 10+2 kind of curriculum. So in new education policy, what we are doing is there are two main things about the school education. That 5+3+3+4. In the first 5 we have 3 years of pre-primary education. That was not in the 10+2 kind of education, which was its predecessor in 1986 and 1968. And in the last 4 we have this multiple option of school, taking the subjects. So there is no hard or flexible kind of subject we want the student to pursue. We are looking at since the student have different liking or different needs, we must promote different subjects. And in the higher education as well, there is this multiple entry and multiple exit kind of schemes that are present there. So in higher education, what we are promoting is that okay, whatever the student may have studied, he can earn that credit, and after 1 year he can exit, and after few years, if he think he want to come back to the college, he can continue from where he has left. So it is more kind of flexible than the predecessors.
Achha, you have mentioned cricket playing, watching in your as a hobby.
Yes, sir.
So what are the contemporary issues in the Indian cricket? I mean, we haven't probably won an international competition for many years now.
Yes.
What is the problem with the selections, with the selectors, or what are the contemporary issues in the current Indian cricket?
Well, sir, recently the last World Cup we won 10 games continuously. In the final we lost. So I think sometime the luck is not in your favor. So that we must consider that there is a problem with selection or there is a problem with the team. Sometimes we must have to accept the fact that one game can't decide your future or the quality of the player you are having. So there is a lot of this that in the World Test Championship we lost. In the last World Test Championship we lost. So in the finals we are not performing that well. So it is more about a psychological and strategic issue that must be taken care of than team selection. Team is playing very well, that's why we are in the final. But what we are doing in the final, that is affecting every time. So I think it's more of sports psychology kind of thing.
In crunch games, do we choke or what? I mean, you reach finals in various games.
Yes, sir.
But then finally you...
Yes, sir. It has been a problem in the last few years, and it has been very prominent. So there is a lot of talk about that. In the final we are choking, so it must be considered, but I don't think it's the problem with the team, because if there was a problem with the team, we wouldn't be able to reach to the final.
Does Dhoni need a comeback or something like?
Well, sir, every player has a retirement age, and Dhoni has done very well for the Indian cricket, and there will every player will retire, sir, and we will need to create more Dhonis. So Dhoni can't play forever. So we have to look after Dhoni. We have to create new Dhonis.
That is the crux. Need to create more Dhonis.
Yes,
yeah. Currently, there's been a judgment by the Supreme Court on election funding.
Yes, sir.
So, are you aware of the?
Yes, sir.
What are the issues?
Government of India has proposed this electoral bond scheme in which all the transaction to any political party must be through the banking channels, and it was to promote that there must be no black money. Because before that we have a kind of system in which there was the cash transaction happening, and if your transaction is below 20,000 rupees, that will not be recorded. So what the party used to do is break down their all the fund they were receiving below the 20,000, and there was a lot of money which was unrecorded. So Government of India thought that we must create this SBI backed channel. So you purchase the bond. There was an anonymity clause because a lot of the company was in the fear that if the party in the power or party in the opposition know that we are supporting a particular party, there will be repercussion when that party will be in the power. So that anonymity clause was helpful in that regard. But according to Supreme Court of India, that the Article 19 itself, the freedom of expression, it entails that.
But now also by way of electoral bonds, majority funds have gone to the ruling party itself.
Yes, sir.
Maybe 95% plus.
Yes, sir.
To the ruling party.
Yes, sir.
So bonds haven't been able to cut that.
There was anonymity, but there was a banking channel, so money was white. But there was this issue that, okay, money is white, but where the money is coming from? Maybe it is the shell companies. So there was this issue, and also the issue of anonymity. So Supreme Court has struck down that law. We need to find another more transparent solution there.
So what is the way forward for election funding?
The Supreme Court has mentioned in its judgment that we need a more transparent way of funding. Maybe we could remove the anonymity clause and keep the banking channel. So we have white money, but we know. But it will also require a lot of this political ethics, sir, because parties shouldn't think that if certain companies helping that party, we must take action when we are in power.
Are you Yogesh or Ravi?
Well, sir, my parents used to call me Ravi. They had named me Ravi when I was born, but later on, after the rituals, my name, the Rashi was with Ya, so I was named Yogesh.
If chance is given to you, which name you will use?
Well, sir, with Ravi, I have more of this parental and affection with my parents, with my relatives. So, and with Yogesh, I have been recognized, in my university life, throughout my career. So I like both the name. I would add them.
मंडी में सुना है कि कोई इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट का है, कुछ कह सकते हैं इसके बारे में? क्या है
सर? मंडी में अभी जो है, द लास्ट गवर्नमेंट दे वर डेवलपिंग दिस नागचला में एयरपोर्ट, ग्रीनफील्ड एयरपोर्ट, एंड दे वांट टू प्रमोट द टूरिज्म इन हिमाचल प्रदेश. उसमें दो कंसर्न थे सर. उसका बेनिफिट ये था कि हिमाचल के टूरिज्म को सिग्निफिकेंट बूस्ट मिलना था. और रिसेंटली एक मैं रिपोर्ट पढ़ रहा था ट्रिब्यून में कि दिल्ली से कुल्लू की फ्लाइट इज 3 टाइम मोर कॉस्टली देन दिल्ली से दुबई की फ्लाइट्स.
तो इस टाइम इशू क्या है, प्रॉब्लम क्या है?
इशू ये सर, लॉट ऑफ फार्मर्स आर प्रोटेस्टिंग दैट जो लैंड है दैट इज वेरी फर्टाइल एंड वी विल वांट गिव दैट लैंड, एंड दे फील चीटेड कि हमें ये लैंड है एक सफिशिएंट कंपनसेशन नहीं मिल रही है, एंड देयर आर सम इमोशनल attachment to the land also.
Suppose आप administration में select हो जाते हैं,
yes,
and this is the issue and this is the problem, how will you solve it?
Well, sir, there is a proposal that alternate site जाहू में भी बन सकती है. तो वहाँ पे काफी ज्यादा barren land है, तो I think that could also be a viable solution if the farmers feels that they want give their land away. But also, if we talk with the locals and if we redress their problems and if they feel happy, okay, then we should go ahead with the project also.
Mandi tourism ka, can it be a future? What do you think?
Mandi mein, sir, there are a lot of sites जहाँ पे tourism promote किया जाता है. There is a lot of infrastructure building also. State has the Mandi district in itself has a lot of potential, being the Mandi in itself, जहाँ पे बहुत ज़्यादा temples हैं, so religious tourism could be there. Also in the Rivalsar or in the Parashar lakes are there, so there can also be this recreational tourism in the Jinjali Valley, Kasok Valley. There could also be this ecotourism that we can promote in the Shikari Wildlife Sanctuaries also as well. And there has been also in the recent budget by SDM of Himachal Pradesh this horticulture tourism. So in the Jinjali Valley, in Kasok Valley, there are a lot of horticulture garden where we can promote this horticulture kind of tourism.
आप एग्रीकल्चर फील्ड से हैं, फैमिली से हैं.
Yes, sir.
What do you think? आप एज ए एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर करसोग में एग्रीकल्चर के बारे में क्या कर सकते हैं, क्या सोचते हैं आप? व्हाट डू यू थिंक?
Actually, sir, the agriculture in Kosovo अभी भी काफी traditionally हो रहा है, and there is not a lot of awareness about the recent varieties, the cash crops and high density varieties. Also in the field of irrigation, also this is a problem in Himachal Pradesh also, that majorly these 70 to 80% of the Himachal Pradesh is rain.
Especially Kosovo में issues क्या हैं agriculture से concerned?
Actually, the main problem is, sir, the road connectivity in itself. The Kosovo to Shimla road. It's also, there is a lot of demand from the farmer that it should be two-lane road, but the government is considering a lot of implications are there, environmental, forest as well. But if we can reduce this transportation cost, and along with that, there is a lot of demand from the farmer of the Kosovo that there should be cold storage chain in the Kosovo. Because जब Kosovo में a lot of cash crops are grown, a lot of apple production is there, but due to this market oversupply, the prices go down. So people think if we have the cold store facility in various points in the Kosovo, we could store our crops and we could fetch the better prices.
आजकल जो है MSP के बारे में काफी बातचीत हो रही है, क्या है?
Sir, MSP is minimum support price. It is this price that the government issue before every Rabi and Kharif season. There are crops, 23 crops are mentioned there. So MSP में recently issue ये चल रहा है कि farmers are demanding that there should be a legal law कि जो भी हम उगा रहे हैं, government has to buy that crops or that product. The problem with the MSP is that, sir, कि ये जो है according to शांता कुमार कमेटी in 2015 की जो MSP जो issue ये है कि ये काफी सेलेक्टिव स्टेट में ही अच्छे से काम कर रही है, और दूसरा एमएसपी के कारण जो है क्रॉप डाइवर्सिफिकेशन नहीं हो रहा है. जैसे कि पंजाब में जो है धान की खेती काफी ज्यादा एग्रेसिवली की जा रही है एमएसपी के कारण, सो उससे ग्राउंड वाटर एक्सट्रैक्शन भी बहुत ज्यादा हो रहा है, और वहां पे काफी ज्यादा जो है केमिकल फर्टिलाइजर यूज करके वहां पे जो है ग्राउंड वाटर भी जो है पॉइजन हो गया काफी ज्यादा.
अभी लेटेस्ट सीबीएसई ने जो है एजुकेशन की फील्ड में एक लेटेस्ट स्कीम चलाई है, वो है ओपन बुक टेस्ट.
यस.
क्या है, आप इसके बारे में कुछ कह सकते हैं?
यस सर, ओपन बुक एग्जामिनेशन, सर, ये भी अकॉर्डिंग टू नेशनल करिकुलम फ्रेमवर्क जो 2022 में या 2023 में लॉन्च हुआ था, उसके अकॉर्डिंग है कि एंड इट इज आल्सो इन द लाइन विद नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी. व्हाट वी वांट इज दैट हम एक रोड और mere डेफिनेशन लर्निंग नहीं चाहते हैं. अभी तक जो एग्जाम होते हैं वी आस्क डेफिनेशन और अ सिंपल प्रॉब्लम. व्हाट वी वांट विद ओपन बुक एग्जामिनेशन दैट हमारे स्टूडेंट जो है ज्यादा क्रिटिकली सोचें, यू टू केयर नोट्स विद योरसेल्फ, आप अपनी बुक्स ले जाएं, बट द प्रॉब्लम विल बी गिविंग दैट विल बी गिविंग इन एग्जाम विल बी मोर ऑफ critical thinking and your understanding of the concepts. So such kind of initiative is a very positive initiative, sir.
आप इक्वालिटी से क्या समझते हैं? इक्वालिटी क्या है?
Well, sir, equality के जो concept है, there are two things that equality is to treating everyone equal on the basis of law, and there is also equality means equity कि there are unequals among equal also, like poor people and the rich people, if they are before any authority, and they don't have equal resources to compete in that authority that is in respect of the law itself. Like if there is a case between rich people and poor people, the poor people can't be won't be able to afford.
Freedom of speech क्या है?
But freedom of speech is that, sir, कि किसी भी healthy democracy को viable रखने के लिए the citizen of the nation, they should be able to express their opinions freely. But there are certain restrictions that it should not be, that it disrupt the public law and order.
आपने कोई जजमेंट सुनी होगी सुप्रीम कोर्ट की, वो है केशवानंद भारती केस, सुना है?
Yes.
क्या है, क्या जजमेंट है?
So केशवानंद भारती केस जो था in 1973, it gave the doctrine of basic structure of the Constitution of India, and thing was that कि the question was that what is the power of parliament with regard to amendment of the constitution. So in that judgment the Supreme Court clearly gave the judgment that there is something called the basic structure of the constitution, which include there is no comprehensive list, but there is this idea that federalism, federalism, fundamental rights, rule-based law, equality. There are certain basic independent judiciary. These features are very inherent to the constitution. These can't be amended.
Yogesh.
Yes, sir.
And I see you have written Mr. Shane Chaudhary @gmail.com. So what's the story behind this?
Well, sir, मैं बचपन से काफी क्रिकेट का फैन था. So I have this player called Shane Watson was my favorite all-rounder. I also wanted to be an all-rounder. So I was creating an email when I was in 9th class. So this stuck with me as a memory. So I think it gave me a unique email ID plus also my childhood memories as well.
What are the qualities of Shane Watson that you feel or you liked a lot?
Well, sir, Shane Watson.
Shane Watson.
Well, sir, first of all, in cricket you don't have this very good batting and bowling all-rounder as well. So he has this unique ability that he was a very power hitter and opening batsman, very classy. Along with that, he was a very great bowler, very good bowler, not a great bowler, such as to speak. So I want also to be like him, like a very good all-rounder cricketer. But I end up being a wicket-keeping batsman.
Who's the captain of Indian cricket team?
Well, currently, sir, Rohit Sharma is the captain of Indian cricket team.
Okay. So there is only one cricket team, Indian cricket team.
Also there is a women cricket team also.
And who's the captain of women cricket team?
Women cricket team, sir, it is Harman Kaur.
Okay. So recently there is a talk about WPL. What is that?
Women's Premier League.
Okay.
Yes, sir. WPL is also on the basis of IPL that BCCI want to promote the women cricket as well on the par with WPL. So we could have this good players in the women.
How many teams are there in that?
Well, sir, as per my knowledge, there are 5 teams, I think.
And who won the last edition of WPL? Any team?
I'm not sure, but it was Delhi, I think.
Mumbai Indians. Mumbai. So, first one-day international cricket test match. Where was it held?
First international cricket test match.
Yeah, World Cup, rather I would say, International World Cup.
First international World Cup, I think it was held in England and West Indies was the winner.
Okay. So when we play cricket, what is the weight of ball?
Weight of cricket ball, I think, I'm not. I remember it fairly that it was around 160 gram or so.
It's around 150 to 158 gram. And is there a difference between the weight of ball in male and female cricket?
Well, I'm not aware about that, sir.
Okay. Who's your favorite cricketer from Himachal Pradesh?
From Himachal Pradesh, I was last year I was looking at the Ranji and Rishi Dhawan has played very well all round, sir, and he was the main reason because of him the Himachal won the Vijay Hazare Cup.
How cricket has impacted your life?
Well, sir, cricket gives you this sense of teamwork. In cricket, there is a lot of planning. There is a lot of ups and downs. So, like the life in the cricket, there is a lot of uncertainty and ups and downs, and you have to keep your nerve and move ahead. And there may be day of defeat and there may be day of win, but you have to move ahead and prepare for the next game.
Okay, you have written in that you've been a departmental representative and a cricket player, and you have learned the values of consensus building and teamwork. So how do you do this? Like consensus building, teamwork. What are the attributes that are necessary or the process?
Well, sir, while I was a department representative, so there was a lot of departments when you have to do these demands of the student with the administrative body, and we have meeting regularly twice in a semester. So there were these things like what are the things missing in the labs, what are the things that need to be taken care of, like the water coolers in the university, like the library or the newspaper. So there is this lot of student.
Where lies that consensus building?
The consensus building it is on the fact that a lot of students will ask a lot of different things. So you have to talk with them and reach on a way forward that this thing is most practical thing, and this thing is that we must be going ahead, and this will benefit all of you.
Or you were talking about Bal Valley, that international airport, and building the international airport. So consensus, we are not able to get on that point. So how to, for example, you get selected, you are the DC of that place, and now you have to build consensus between people. What steps will you undertake?
Well, first of all is to hear everyone out, sir. For building consensus, you must know what are the different opinions there. And second is that what are the inconsistent, or what kind of opinion are there which are based on information or lack of information. So secondly, you need to make people, a certain faction, understand that this is not profitable for them, and this will take the profit from entire community as well. So awareness is a big part. And third is that sometimes you have to take decision based on majority for the greater goods of the society, sir.
In your DAF, you have written 10+2, physics, chemistry, math, English, and automobiles.
Yes, sir.
What subject was this?
Sir, this was program launched by Himachal Pradesh government to introduce vocational courses in selected government school of Himachal Pradesh. So in automobiles, we were taught the basics of this that would be helpful in the industrial sector as in the automobile sector. So there were also the certification and.
What were you taught in this course?
We were taught the basics of the automobiles, like how to replace the engine oils, how does a car work, what are the basics, engines, what are the risks of engine, or.
Recently we were talking about hybrid engines. What is it?
Well, sir, hybrid engine is this certain kind of engine which can run both on the fuel and also on the electricity.
Okay. There is a talk about flex fuel. What is flex fuel?
I'm not remembering it correctly, sir. Maybe it is blended with ethanols as well.
How much blending we are thinking about in India?
Well, sir, we have completed a target of E10, that is 10% ethanol blending, and we are targeting 20% till 2026.
What is BS6?
Well, BS6, sir, Bharat standards are the norms that are required from a vehicle. That what are the certain emission standards, power efficiency standard that a vehicle is required to maintain. So these are standards for a vehicle.
Have you heard about Bharat NCAP, BNCAP?
I have heard about it, sir, but I am not able to recall.
New car safety assessment program?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
Well, sir, it is a parameter. It is based on 5-point parameter for testing the safety of a vehicle, and it is based on this European model. So, based on it, every Indian car is now to have this NCAP rating for the passenger safety.
You have written date of 10 September. 10th September is also celebrated for Suicide Prevention Day. Are you aware about this?
Well, sir, I may have looked about it, but I was not aware.
What is the focus area this year? Are you aware about that?
No, sir.
We are planning about importance of mental health.
Yes.
You see, a lot of suicides are happening.
Yes.
Why is it such, especially among the youth?
Well, sir, there are a lot of dimension to that. First of all is isolation among the youth. A lot of youth now in the
Aren't they connected with the help of internet?
Well, sir,
everybody is connected on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. They are showing everything what they are doing every day to all their friends.
yes, sir, that is also that is the main reason that there is this peer comparing that somebody else's lifestyle is better than my lifestyle. So people are thinking that I am not living the best I can, or some other people are living the best. So it is creating this feeling of guilt and isolation, that because there is this lack of human contact among them, and they are not sharing their emotion. Really, they are showing they are happy, but they are not sharing their sad emotion, and they are not seeking the help when they need the most.
So what can be done to redress this? Can we go back? Let's stop the internet and start living the way we used to.
Well, sir, it is not the blind ban that is the solution, but we need to limit, and we need to talk about that there are restrictions to certain things, and we must limit ourselves comparing based on the the peer living or this social media
look, we are living every day. Even we have kids, and my kid is also using internet.
Yes.
So I cannot limit the person.
Yes.
Because in the process of learning, we are having new technology, and like you said, we need new technology, we need new resources. But how to adapt ourselves for those resources? What's the take? Even you will get married, you will have kids, and rather when you are doing B.Ed. So how we see that the integration of technology in education, and we should not get those negative repercussions that you are saying.
Well, it must be awareness from the parents as well, and also among the children as well. Because if the children is spending most of its time in the mobile or in the social media, then he is disconnected from his parents and from the friends also. So a lot of the space where we used to socialize, like playing with our friends or spending time with our family, that is not there now. So there the student will.
You are the education secretary.
Yes.
And you have to bring changes.
Yes.
Then you have the power to bring changes in the schools and how in general students are living. So what changes would you like to bring on these terms? Some dictates, 3 dictates.
Well, so first of all is that we should give more importance to the sports culture in the schools.
Is government doing anything to improve this?
Well, sir, recently in the budget, Himachal Pradesh government has announced a lot of prizes for the Olympic winners.
Okay, so one is sports. Then?
Another one is that, sir, maybe we should have this restriction for the under 18 kids, what is appropriate for them, what kind of site they could use. More regulation should be there on the social media site like Twitter, Facebook, and the Instagram, etc.
From the government side?
From the government side. The government has to, as well as awareing the parents, but it needs to be government that can influence the social media sites.
Okay. We have worked in private sector with Antu.
Yes.
And we see people like students are studying in government schools and teachers are good in government schools.
Yes.
Still they are preferring taking private coachings, tuitions. So why there is a gap between this government education, private education, and what can be done? If there is a gap, then how to bridge that gap?
Well, sir, there was recently the statement by Education Minister of Himachal Pradesh that there are around 3,000 to 4,000 primary schools in Himachal Pradesh where they are having only one teacher for the students. So first of all, if there is not enough teacher plus students in the government schools, then parents will automatically move their children. Every parents want better education for their children, so they will automatically move to private education. Although there might be financial repercussion because everyone in the society is not able to afford the private education. And what was the gap
between the government and private sector? How to bridge that? If teachers are less, you are saying this is the reason itself.
Yes.
Or there are many schools in Shimla, we see, there are a lot of teachers, but still, why people are running towards private schools rather than government schools? You have done B.Ed,
yes.
You are doing B.Ed.
Yes.
So, what changes can we bring? Is there a problem in skilling the teachers, or is there a problem in the administration of the school, or is there a problem in the people's mindset who are sending their kids preferring private rather than government?
Well, sir, all that I mentioned are relevant. First of all, there is also a mindset thing that government education is not that much as good as a private school education.
Why people are thinking such? There must be some reality because of which they are thinking. What is that reality?
It was a historical perception there. It used to be that in the government school, the teacher used to be more laxed or relaxed, not attending their classes regularly. But now the government has done significant change, like the biometric attendance in the school compulsorily, and a lot of parents' involvement by the SMCs in the school. So there should be active the vigil of the parents in the school. But historically it has been now retained as a stigma that the government schools are not as good as the private schools. Along with that, there is a lot of infrastructure building that is not there in the government school. Lot of teachers and to student ratio that is not maintained.
And what is government doing for this?
Well, sir, government, first of all, a lot of recruitment is going on, as the CM has made the statement. And along with that, government is including other initiatives like the vocational education, adult tinkering lab in the school, and biometric attendance for the teacher, management of the school with the help of parents, which is SMCs, midday meal nutrition to enroll those kids who are not attending schools because they want to help their families. So government is lucrating them from the point of view of food. So
you talked about like we should recruit more teachers.
Yes.
So state is fund crunched.
Yes,
We see there is no fund. There was issue in electricity about salaries. So why our state is fund crunched, and what can we do to improve this?
Well, sir, Himachal Pradesh is, there is not of revenue generating resources in Himachal Pradesh, and for maintaining high social expenditure, as Himachal Pradesh is spending a lot of its fund, around 20 to 25% of this fund in the social expenditure. And to sustain that, we need to generate more revenue resources. But the things like education or the healthcare, these are kind of the capital which will give the future results. So we can't compromise on the education.
See, we are talking about Atmanirbhar Himachal Pradesh.
Yes.
How to make that Atmanirbhar Himachal Pradesh?
Government has also in this budget devised many schemes like Startup Yojana. There are three kinds of Startup Yojana proposed in this project. First of all is in the field of agriculture sector, in which we are promoting natural farming and we will buy them at MSPs. Second one is the Rajiv Gandhi, the Startup Yojana in the household solar panels that we will install, and that will give the youths opportunity to earn income from the barren land, and government is giving 50% subsidy. And third one is this e-taxi. Along with that, government is promoting dairy farming, and Himachal Pradesh government is the first government, as claimed in the budget, which will give the MSP for the farmers in the dairy farming business. So that MSP will boost animal husbandry, and that will further boost this compost and manure that will help with the organic farming as well. So if we have more animal husbandry, then we will generate more compost and manure.
So you have done graduation in physics.
Yes.
Physics or post-graduation in physics. So who was given Nobel Prize in 2023 for physics?
I'm not remembering the name exactly now.
Okay, there were 3 people.
Yes.
So what was the reason why they were given Nobel? Are you aware about that?
No, sir.
What is quantum physics?
Okay, sir. Now I remember that. So quantum physics is the physics of the microscopic particle. So there is this distinction that the big bodies like a ball, this bottle, these are governed by Newton laws. But when we go to smaller and smaller dimension, like for example atom, electron, the Newton laws are not applicable. The small particle does not behave like the big particle. So that mechanics is the study of any motion. So quantum means small. So the study of the small particle is called quantum mechanics.
So, and what is quantum entanglement?
So quantum entanglement is this phenomena that two particles, if they are very far away from each other, if they are entangled, means that if we make a measurement of one particle, the other particle's measurement we immediately know. So that is this entanglement. It is a kind of relation among the particles.
Okay. So what is this when we talk about matter? What are the states of matter?
Well, sir, states of matter, 3 basic known states are solid, liquid, and gaseous. Another one there is Bose-Einstein condensate, which is at very low temperature, and the particle occupy ground the most lowest state possible.
We talk about plasma.
Yes.
What is plasma?
Well, sir, plasma is a high temperature state in which all the particles are disintegrating, and electrons are removed away from the atoms itself.
Okay. What is Pascal law?
Well, Pascal law is in the hydrostatics, sir. It is related to pressure, and it states that if we change the pressure on, if you have a liquid enclosure, and if we change the pressure on any side, the pressure will be equally distributed on all the sides.
Okay. And what is a neutrino?
Well, so neutrino is a small particle which is supposedly massless, but it has very negligible mass, and it is of neutral charge. So neutrinos came into picture that in any kind of this nuclear or the weak reaction, they are emitted.
And what is the use of neutrino? Why we are doing research on that?
Well, some neutrino are highly penetrating particle, and neutrinos oscillation in neutrino mass, if we could carry, if we could find and if we could know their behavior, they could also be used to improve the technology.
You were talking about artificial intelligence.
Yes,
we are talking about deep fake.
Yes.
Then recently there are a lot of problems that we are discussing in artificial intelligence.
Yes, sir.
How to use this artificial intelligence in administration?
Well, sir, recently, as I have also mentioned, that artificial intelligence, AI bots are being used in the agriculture portal, as has been proposed in the budget of Himachal Pradesh. Along with that, there are also cases in the banking channels. The AI is being used to detect any fraudster loan, loan cases. It is used to predict that if any loan case is viable or not in the banking channels. Or in the channel of education, artificial intelligence is used to learn about a student. If we have 100 students in the classroom, so artificial intelligence, based on the performance of the every students continuously, if you are monitoring them, it will predict them what kind of requirements or what kind of aid that can be given to a student and what he is lacking.
Time and again, we are talking about United Nations reforms.
Yes, sir.
What kind of reforms do we need in the United Nations?
So first of all is Security Council reform that is most talked about, and it is that only the 5 countries have the veto power, and considering the global realities now, it has been argued that it does not represent the global realities of current world. The UN reforms, India is the most populous country and a growing country. So if you are not having such big country in your UN, so it is not representing. And there is also talk about global south, because it is more western heavy. The global south, like African countries and many more list of countries, they are not equally being represented in the United Nations.
You did your physics MSc from Central University, and now you are doing B.Ed from HB University. What is the difference between the two? The culture, the work culture, the studies, the curriculum, and
well, sir, it is more mature and aged university, and you can see the diversity of people here. The student politics is very strong, and there is a lot of this library culture, because it's a very big university. So a lot of students preparing for different fields. The Central University of Himachal Pradesh was more I was in the Shahpur, the science campus of CUHP. So it was more oriented toward sciences, and there were not this strong student politics network there, as we can see in HPU.
How about the academic culture in the two places?
So academic culture was both in the HPU as well in the CUHP. There are very good professors and very good academic culture. So being in the science campus of Central University of Himachal Pradesh, I was more in the touch with the science people. But in HPU, there is a very diverse, kind of this atmosphere, because the university is very age mature. There are a lot of departments, so there are a lot of talks, seminars. There are a lot of students. There are a lot of cultural fest of the students from the Kinnaur, Lahore to Mandi and the Kangra. And that kind of diversity was not in the Central University of Himachal Pradesh, because it is not that much grown now. So it is a small university currently.